You can see the headline, Google to finance data center project lease to Anthropic. This is a pretty big deal. Now note that it doesn't say that they're investing. This isn't like Nvidia where it said, I'm going to invest 100 billion into OpenAI. I do want to note that Alphabet is one of the largest investors already in Anthropic, along with Amazon. But this particular news is that Google is going to finance a data center project that is leased to Anthropic. And apparently, when they're financing it, they're doing it with their credit worthiness. They're not actually going to, from the sound of it, it doesn't sound like they're paying for it outright. And so I think that's important because we see a lot of the circular financing that's been going on, especially Michael Burry, he's been calling it out. And so the question for you guys today is this circular financing? Let me know what you think. We'll get into it real quick, but first I want to welcome you to Ruben Tech, the only channel on all of the internet that meets at the intersection of tech, politics, and finance. Please be sure to like and subscribe down below. Oh, and this is me, I'm not AI. Google is reportedly financing a multi-billion-dollar data center in Texas, currently leased to Anthropic, deepening the relationship between the two and their shared interest in AI infrastructure. Now, you might say, what is their shared interest here? Well, their shared interest is that Anthropic needs hardware and Google provides it, right? So Anthropic is smartly, people would say this is very smart, they're pursuing a multi-cloud solution. And what that means is they're going to lots of different providers. They want to be hardware agnostic. They don't want to be tied into CUDA. They want to be tied into Google Cloud. They want to be tied into AWS. They want to be tied into Azure. So what they're doing is they're going out and they're using a little bit of everything, right? And they're running everything on top of that. So again, I think that's extremely smart. But Google has the best TPUs in the entire world. They have the best AI accelerators. In case you don't know what a TPU is, it's a type of AI accelerator. And they have promised, I believe, I'm trying to think of the number, I think it's 1 million of these chips to Anthropic. And Anthropic has already been using, I think they are one of the largest purchasers already of these TPUs. So everybody's been wanting to get their hands on these chips. And as a quick aside, you have Michael Burry saying there's going to be a glut of hardware on the market pretty soon. I mean, I don't know how Google is going to provide all these chips that they're selling to people, right? How are they going to get this? Because every time I hear Sundar talk, they don't have enough chips for their own internal use. Remember that they run all their internal AI on their own hardware. They don't use any of NVIDIA's. They have NVIDIA in their cloud, but they don't use any of NVIDIA's chips for their training or inferencing. They use all their own chips. And it sounds like they barely have enough for their own selves. So it's like, is TSMC, like, do they have some magic coming up pretty soon where they're going to just like double or triple capacity? I don't think so. But anyways, Anthropic is getting 1 million of these chips off of Google. We'll see if that actually happens. I'm very interested in that. And so seems like the circular financing people talk about. Google invests in Anthropic and Anthropic buys chips from Google. Amazon invests in Anthropic. Anthropic buys Trainium chips from Amazon, right? The circular financing. So according to sources cited by the Financial Times, construction loans for Nexus Data Center's $5 billion plus project are expected to be finalized in the upcoming weeks and would facilitate the completion of the 2,800-acre data center. Once completed, the center is expected to deliver 500 megawatts of capacity by late 2026, expanding to 7.7 gigawatts. Now I want to talk about this real quick. This is an absolutely amazing idea. This Nexus data center, whoever they are, they said, hey, look, everybody needs these data centers, but they're struggling with securing energy, at least in the West, right? China has more than enough energy. They have so much energy. They don't even know what to do with it. Just kidding. You can never have too much energy. But they said, we will secure the energy. And then what we can do is we can build the campus for these data centers and we can rent it out. We can lease it out to these guys and they can come and just put their chips in, put their data centers in. And we can guarantee them an uninterrupted supply of power because these are essentially power companies, right? And they don't have to rely on the grid. And so I was like, wow, this is actually a really good idea. And so with the strategic location between several major gas pipelines, note this isn't clean energy, this is going to be natural gas. Nexus aims to power the facility with its own gas turbines, thus reducing its dependence on the power grid and avoiding surge pricing during peak energy hours. The financing, which capitalizes on the creditworthiness of parent Alphabet, expands the relationship between Google and Anthropic. So what they're saying there is that, it sounds to me like Anthropic is just saying, hey, Google, look at this balance sheet you got here. You got, almost $600 billion in assets. You only have $200 billion in liabilities. You just offered a 100-year bond and it didn't even make it to the public, right? All the private creditors took it in a snap, in a heartbeat. Use that AAA rating you got. It's actually not AAA. I think it's AA plus. And finance this deal for us. So that my question though, I can find, I don't see anything that says this an investment. So is Google going to get paid back, or are they not paying? Are they just co-signing and Anthropic's actually going to pay the bill? Are they going to pay Google anything? Are they going to pay Alphabet anything? Are they going to pay them interest or something? Or is the interest just that you are going to fill it with our chips? Because it doesn't say they have to fill this with their chips either. Now, of course, they've ordered 1 million of these Trainiums, the Google Trillium TPUs, but maybe they fill them with Trainium. So there are some details being left out here, which is why I'm a little hesitant to call it circular financing at this moment. Because if it's straight financing and, Anthropic can put whatever chips they want into there, I don't know, then it sounds a little different. We should discuss that down below though. Google currently supplies Anthropic with Google Cloud's custom designed TPU clusters to train Anthropic's large language models. This partnership enables Google to enhance its Vertex AI platform while providing Anthropic with the cloud infrastructure performance and scale it needs. This sentence right here shows you that this person knows nothing about AI. It's a very, very nice article written from a finance perspective. It's a finance site. But who is this? Amy? Amy, what are you doing? Why did you add this? You obviously added this on your own. This is ridiculous. This means nothing. Okay? This statement means absolutely nothing. This partnership enables Google to enhance its Vertex AI platform. Vertex AI platform is just basically where you can go and you can pick all these different models. It's kind of like Hugging Face in a way. And you can deploy them onto hardware and you can train them and do whatever you want with them. And you can see here's some partners: Anthropic, Meta, Hugging Face, Mistral, whatever. Right? They also got, you can get Quinn 3.5, G4 VM, all these different models. Google's models too, open source, whatever. It's just a place where you come, you find whatever model you want to use. You can pick what hardware you want. You can deploy it on hardware. You can train it, etc. Make it custom. This is me nitpicking. How does this deal enhance that? If Google didn't do this, was Anthropic going to say, no, we don't want to use Vertex anymore? We're not going to allow your customers to access our models? No, of course not. Why would they do that? No, we don't want extra customers. It doesn't make any sense. The two have nothing to do with each other. What this should say is this partnership enables Alphabet, because they have Alphabet's a parent of Google, and they have a specific venture fund to enhance its investment portfolio. Because I already believe with what and when Google got in, that they have seen, some people have estimated, they haven't had to recognize it yet like they have with their OpenAI investment, with their SpaceX. but some people are estimating it's going to be 10x minimum and could be much more than that. So they're going to be seeing great returns. It could, I mean, I'm sure it's going to likely be 10x would probably be the minimum bottom floor of what their investment will balloon up to with Anthropic once it has an IPO or, you know, whatever, when it goes public. So anyways, another interesting deal. I thought I'd bring this to you guys, you know, to your mind, to your mental space. Now we have the smaller players, Anthropic, OpenAI, literally going and asking for daddy's credit card. Tell me what you think about this down below. All of you out there, have a great day.